Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. We have with us Sri R. Rajagopalan. And first off, before we go to our regular topic, we're going to give you an update about the National Herald case about ED raiding many National Herald offices all over the country. What is the latest, Rajagopalan ji? Namaskar first, sir.
Namaskar. First, I congratulate you for a topic which you have chosen about the vessel Sri Lanka. But, as the country is facing today, just now, a short while ago, at least some 300 to 400 policemen were posted outside Madam Sonia Gandhi's house and also outside the AICC office. The reason being, step by step, the government of India, especially the Enforcement Directorate, is going. Day before yesterday, they raided 12 locations, Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, like that. And they did not find anything. Today, they sealed the office of National Herald and also the Young Indian. Third, they deployed police, and we expect any big news to come up. I don't want to speculate that. But there are three options. One, they detain Madam Sonia Gandhi. Whether they do it or not, it is under the law. Second thing, it is for the police to decide. Second, most important is Rahul Gandhi is cutting short his visit from Bengaluru to Delhi to understand what is happening. Third, my point is the Congress is to blame itself because Congress was denied. They approached the courts, Supreme Court, High Court, Patiala Court, the lower court, higher court, all the three courts they did not get relief. Finally, Supreme Court said, you go and surrender, you have to get a bail. We will not give you any relief. So this is a legal process happening for the last 10 years. Second most important, we must congratulate Dr. Subramanian Swamy because today he has been very articulate in at least 6 of the national channels in India. And he said very well. Now, I end this with a very one line speculation that Delhi is abuzz with a big, a speculation. Will Sonia Gandhi be detained? That is the big story which is developing slowly and steadily. Now let us go to the other topic, Mr. Iyer.
Sir, 1 second, sir. Let's welcome our other guest of the evening, Major Madhan Kumar. Major Saab, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, sir. Jai Hind. Namaskaram, Rajagopalan, sir.
Namaskaram, Major. Namaskaram. And in the army, I salute you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That's a wonderful way to greet our esteemed Major. Major Madhan Kumar.
And not only that, we don't want to waste time, Mr. Sri Iyer, because today we are having the celebrations of 75th year. We must honor many Major Madhan Kumars because they sacrificed for the country. And I must salute you, Mr. Major Madhan Kumar, for the sacrifice you have done. Second thing, we welcome, as we say in our traditional Vedic culture, Suklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sachivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙬 𝙤𝑣ఘ్నోపశాन्तये. Before we enter Sri Lanka, we must pray the God because we should not be caught in the fire of the two stalwarts in Sri Lanka. They are fighting. So today, Mr. Iyer has chosen the vessel. Now I hand it over to Iyer. Don't mistake me, Mr. Iyer, for my barging in.
No problem at all, sir. Always a pleasure. Major Madhan Kumar, this is the format that we have. Sri Rajagopalan has a time constraint. He has to leave by 8 o'clock. So up until then, let us talk about the Chinese spy vessel, its impact and so on. After that, Major Madhan Kumar, with your permission, we can talk about the other things such as the Pakistan Helo crash, the state of the economy in Sri Lanka, and a post Al Zawahiri. I have some questions for you on what really has gone down there. So we'll talk about all that stuff. I hope that is okay with you, Major Madhan Kumar. I'm sorry I'm not giving you much of a choice. I would like you to start with an opening statement on the Chinese spy vessel, and then let's go back to Rajagopalanji. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a matter of serious concern for us. We gifted Hambandhota to Lanka, to China in a way. When initially, when Rajapakse wanted to build a port in Hambandhota in his home constituency, India didn't give it a thought to actually take that port.
Long-term consequences.
Yeah. So there are two thoughts to it. One, commercially, the port is not viable. We should be investing in our own ports. We should not be investing in a third country's port. The traffic expected is very less. Colombo will continue to remain the number one port. So we should not be investing there. That's one school of thought. The other school of thought is this is a unavoidable investment for us. We should invest. If we don't invest, our main adversary, China, would come and invest in that port, which is just 170 kilometers from Tamil Nadu, which will anyway going to be a future security threat for India. Now it's happening in reality. Hambandhota port the contract wasn't made in such a way that the Sri Lankans could never pay back even the interest. So it was given on a 99 years lease to the Chinese entity. But primarily they retained one control, which means that any defense related vessels, be it submarines, destroyer, any frigate, any naval ship which gets docked in that port should have the approval of the Sri Lankan government, because Sri Lankan government holds their sovereign rights to allow or not to allow any given country's vessel in their port. But there is no restriction as far as the commercial ships are concerned. So that is the crux of that thing. Now, this particular ship, the Chinese vessel, Yangwang 5, it's not categorized as a naval vessel, or it's not a categorized Chinese naval ship or a PLA naval ship. So it is categorized it is non-categorized as a this thing. So technically, what China says is that it's not a military vessel or a military ship. So there should not be any objections as far as India is concerned. But it is categorized as a research vehicle. Now, what sort of research is that? It's a bit more complicated. I'm not going into the technical thing. Basically, it beams certain spectrum, and it studies all the surrounding spectrums. What are the vessels which are moving? It can literally study about the marine vessels, the commercial vessels which are moving in that area, the commercial vessels which are docked in the nearby ship. The range is almost 700 kilometers. 700 kilometers clearly covers Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, the three major coastal states. So that also covers our national strategic assets like Kudangulam, Kalpakam atomic reactor, the Southern Naval Command of Indian Navy, and there are a couple of other strategic assets, 4 to 5 ports lying anywhere between Odisha up till Kerala. So these places can be monitored. The data can be monitored. They can clearly get to analyze the traffic in the sense network traffic, what kind of satellite communications can happen, because it can beam and it can collect data. Now comes to a point that Sri Lanka initially refused. They said we didn't get any such requests from any of the countries, not specific to China. And later they said, yes, we have got the request, but this is a routine activity. Few years before we had a naval submarine docked there for refueling purpose. So this is going to come here for a refueling purpose. It's going to berth, refuel, and then go back. So starting from 2nd of August till 7th of August, 5 days of time. So this is clearly making a mockery out of their own internal security in Sri Lanka. In the past 4 months, as Rajagopalan sir also said, when we are getting into such a thing, we should also think of the India's help which was given to Sri Lanka. No other country in the world has given them such an aid, especially their all-weather friend China literally disowned them. Right from their fuel, petrol, diesel, essential medicines, COVID vaccinations, infant food, wheat, rice, and essential pulses and cereals. So all this were given by India as a humanitarian aid. So we didn't crush them with China-like terms and conditions. But there is a political twist to it. I was speaking to a couple of my friends there. So when Ranil Wikramesinghe's presidency was put forth, India had asked a few Tamil national parties to vote against Ranil, because Ranil is still a softer pro-China face. Rajapakshas were openly on pro-China face, but Ranil also follows the same line. But he's a bit more a diplomat, and he's a bit more a person who does it very subtly. So in this case, Ranil now has an question whether to allow China. If we allow China, then it's going to take on India's ire. So what the Ranil's peace of mind here is, any which way India is against me, so why would I try to please India here? So let's use this as a negotiation tool. On the other hand, if Ranil does this, which they've decided to go ahead with it, if they do it, they're definitely going to face a severe backlash as far as this thing is concerned. The support in terms of their humanitarian aid and so. The country is still in shambles. Inflation is excess of 60%. So this is what the current scenario looks like. And Indian Foreign Ministry has issued this thing that they have raised a diplomatic protest with Sri Lankan government. And they also said that we are going to watch this situation very, very carefully.
Thank you very much, Major Madhan. I want you to hold your thought about that riot that took place where they went and drove out the president, and also they set fire to Ranil Wikramesinghe's house also. I just want your perspective on whether it was an engineered riot by a few elements. Please hold on to that thought. Let us get Sri Rajagopalan ji in on the political viewpoint. Rajagopalan ji, every state that we mentioned, all of them are opposition ruled. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa or Kerala. Now, is there a concern for the center that there could be something beyond what is actually just meeting the eye? What are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, good evening to you. And I'm taking further from Mr. Major Madan Kumar's points of view. I am talking to you from Delhi. And first and foremost, I must congratulate Mr. Sri Iyer and PGurus, because you broke the story. Before breaking the story, we had informal consultations, and certain things which I told you, I am going to repeat it for the sake of your viewers. As I am, addressing you all from New Delhi, there are three main concerns. Major Madan Kumar has seen the Delhi. Those who are unable to understand what the Delhi administrative setup is, I would like to give 1, 2, 3 points, quick points, and then elaborate further. The system of security, India's security, is covered under Cabinet Committee on Security, the highest political body of the Union Cabinet, which is presided over by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister, External Affairs Minister. This group is seized on this matter. Apart from that, the National Security Advisor, ably aided by RAW and military intelligence, are daily monitoring it. For the viewers of PGurus, I am proud to say that India is in the safe hands of Mr. Narendra Modi and the Cabinet Committee on Security. But at the same time, there are certain apprehensions that China might create some destabilization in Tamil Nadu, that fear and apprehension, because China plans 20 years, 30 years hence. India plans 50 years hence. So there is a mismatch. How India is going to oppose this? The Naval Intelligence Unit is going to be based in Cochin and Tamil Nadu. These are all certain strategic developments which I don't want to share with viewers publicly because of the security concerns. But at the same time, we are aware what is going to happen, and we have to create a plan action B to counter that China's possible things. Apart from that, as Major Madan Kumar indicated, India has given in the past 1 year a rough estimate of 25,000 crores in Indian rupees in various kinds. In fact, for the benefit of PGuru viewers, those who are in for many countries, I would like to say, at the request of Rajapakse, 5 lakh units of pressure cookers, rice cookers were sent to Sri Lanka over a period of 3 months. What the Sri Lanka did, according to the National Security Advisory Board member, Sri Lanka backstabbed India. The reason being, when they allowed the ship Yuan Wang 5, as Major Madan Kumar has indicated, it has surveillance of 750 kilometers, and it can catch any amount of intelligence. The Renaissance, I don't know what is the military term about it. I am unable to pronounce it properly. They have reconnaissance, yes, and Hambandhota, the port, which is very strategically located, and the 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙪, which is far away from that. They are also the US aircrafts are there. US is also going to help India, and they are going to neutralize China's possible threat. But China's longer-term action plan, according to a top-secret intelligence report, which I was able to digest, that reveals, Mr. Iyer, which is very shocking. By 2050, India will be, disintegrated according to China's that theory paper, a status paper, which they say in another 20 to 25 years. To catch that type of, images, how to create an internal disturbance in India. These are all certain strategic ploys which Colombo and Beijing, they are jointly working it out. India is seized of that, but at the same time, as I mentioned, the Cabinet Committee on Security, headed by the Prime Minister of India, is seized of the matter, and we will not allow the China to wag our tails. Yesterday, what happened in Taipei? The China is keeping quiet. Similarly, things are going to be, Mr. Modi is going to create a thing. To understand that, my, what I should say, forecast is that if India gets Kachativu from Sri Lanka, say for 99 years lease, we will be balancing the Hambantota port strategies of Sri Lanka, China, we can neutralize. So these are all certain developing stories, Mr. Iyer. We have to be very, very careful, and India is careful. At least the ruling party in Tamil Nadu has been taken into confidence by the central agencies. They have alerted the government system in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, of course, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, Odisha. So there was a top-level meeting a week ago. These are all certain things coming out. At the same time, India's apprehensions and concerns have been conveyed to Colombo through diplomatic channels. If you remember, when Ranil Wikramesinghe was appointed as Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, India never congratulated. No tweet from Government of India, except this local ambassador, the High Commissioner, going and calling on him. That itself is a signal. And as Mr. Madan Kumar indicated, we played our role, but we are playing it a serious role. I am confident that under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi, things will not drift away, and we will get back the control as China is going to do its surprises. We will neutralize it. 7th to 11th, that 5 days is going to be crucial. And we have also deployed sufficiently to understand what the China's ship will be doing. This is what I would like to share my views, informations, and whatever I gathered from the highest sources in the Government of India, I shared with you. And finally, I would like to congratulate PGurus, because you broke the story, and that has created ripples in Indian media. There were Tamil channels debated, English channels debated, and in the social media, we are now aware of what is going to happen and what will happen. Thank you. I'm not hearing you, sir. You are on mute.
Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. One question I'm going to ask Sri Rajagopalan ji after I ask the same question to Major Madan Kumar, and then, sir, you can take leave and you can join the time.
But I'm extremely sorry, Mr. Iyer, because I have another commitment today. Developments are very politically hot.
Very fast, yeah.
Yes, having defense problems, I have political problems here.
So just one question, sir. Major Madan Kumar, there are people who are drawing parallels between what happened in Sri Lanka that resulted in the president momentarily, I'm talking about, Gotabaya, leaving the country, staying in the ship and then going to some countries. I think he has come back now. People were trying to figure out what exactly happened. And then something happened in Kallakurichi in Tamil Nadu. Do you see parallels between these two? Are there the same elements trying to do some experiments? Your thoughts, sir?
Sir, definitely it was an organized protest. There are enough videos which can prove it. The protesters were given a platform. There were best of the energy drinks, snacks, right from burgers and pizzas and whatnot. So unlimited supply of food, unlimited supply of drinks, in the sense soft drinks. And then there were, the nation was running out of petrol and diesel literally. People were standing in queue for 2 days and the thing was ration. But as far as the protesters were concerned, it was a free go. So everything was planned, and the moment Rajapaksa was thrown out, when the president house got seized, Rajapaksa was thrown out. It precisely took 48 hours for the Sri Lankan army to actually dislodge the entire protester setup and then clean the area. Now, to do this, an army can always do it, but they had their own reservations. This is the first time the Sri Lankan army was not totally aligned, or they say they were very, very loyal to their boss Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was himself as an army officer earlier. So that loyalty was put under test, and they proved that they are no more loyal to Gotabaya, and that's how this entire thing happened. Once the purpose was solved, it was dismantled in no time. We saw the similar kind of protest happening in Sangur. We saw the similar kind of protest happening in Canada. We saw a similar kind of protest happening in Australia. Even now, in as you said, in Kallakurichi, in Tamil Nadu. So all this protest, which is so-called headless protest, this is a low-cost, high inflicting operations. It's a very, very low-cost one. You just have to instigate people by means of money. You have to provide them. You can convince them basis ideology, basis religion, caste, political affiliation, whatsoever it may be, and you can easily fund them. And you can be at the hindsight. Nobody takes the responsibility. It is so-called quote unquote. What do you call? It's a headless protest. It's supposed to be spontaneous. It's supposed to be a people-led movement. But when the 𝙒𝙭inquiry was on in Kallakurichi, we came to know that there were almost 50-odd WhatsApp groups which was formed. People were added. Admins were pumping in messages, videos after videos, videos which are not relevant to those crime scene or to the particular school as well as done. And the finer inquiries in terms of how these buses were torched. It was using a local illicit liquor packed in a 200 ml pouch. So those were used to actually torch and do this. So all these protests are today becoming a very low cost options for any country which is against India, or rather any country which wants to hurt India. So these all have become a low cost option, and we really need to, the central government is already working on it. There is a separate project to deal with this kind of threat, but being a democracy will take some time. We tend to react rather than being a bit more proactive. So these measures are already on. Say for example, 2015, stone pelting was a major issue in Kashmir. Now today, are we hearing of stone pelting? The answer is no, because that structure has been demolished. So this also will eventually get demolished, but they will have new ways and means of coming up with innovative ways of disturbing a nation.
Thank you very much, Major Madhan. So hang on, sir. I have the same question for Rajagopalan ji. Sir, you have about 4 to 5 minutes, and then you can take leave of our channel, sir. Thank you so much for giving us the time. Please go ahead, sir. Your thoughts.
Yeah, so suddenly what happened? A light went off. That is, I feel there is some Chinese sabotage in my house also. The reason being, the light which I have is a Chinese house. It's a Chinese light. Suddenly it went off. I don't know. That's why I became very dark. So for the viewers, I am telling you. And the second thing, very important, as Mr. Major Madan Kumar articulated, I would like to say very interesting points, which it will be adding up to Madan Kumar's arguments, and that will give the viewers and listeners food for thought. Mr. Madan Kumar, can you believe it all started with 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 in Marina Beach? And it spread all over Tamil Nadu, but somehow Panneerselvam government and EIDMK government controlled it. 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪, thanks to the intelligence provided by the central agencies, because there is a sort of urban Naxals infiltrated into that. So stretching it that, Kallakurichi is also 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 2 operation, and that was a little sophisticated one. As Mr. Kumar said, that 50 to 50 WhatsApp groups, these are all funded by the external forces. And second thing, there is a replica of what happened in Kallakurichi, what happened in 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 is also, you can stretch it to Shaheen Bagh and Delhi Burari incidents. So this all, there is a point of specimens which central agencies are monitoring. At the same time, my only one apprehension is that we have gone much deeper in the emotions of fulfilling our humanitarian things to Sri Lanka, which we should have avoided, because Sri Lanka on the day of Rajiv Gandhi's coming back to India, they tried to hit Rahul Gandhi by by the back of
soldier. Yeah.
So there is an anti-India state sentiments within the Sri Lankan system. And in 2009, what the Congress helped the Sri Lankan government to eliminate one entire Tamil Eelam. They decimated the Tamil culture. They decimated Tamil tribe, Tamil speaking people. 2 lakhs have been genocide was there. So these are all certain points. At the same time, we are into major issues. Issues are looming large in a very emotional way. We have to control that. Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in the midst of other political activities, also monitoring what is happening in Sri Lanka, and he is getting daily reports about the ship which is going to be berthed in the Hambandhota port. So with this, in my conclusion remark, 2 quick points I would like to make. 40 MPs from Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, Lok Sabha, 18 Rajya Sabha. It comes to around 57 Tamil Nadu, 1 plus 1 Pondicherry. So around 60 MPs from southern states, Tamil Nadu alone. Through PGurus, I would like to request Mr. M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, at least raise this issue in the Parliament tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Bring a short notice or a special mention. Tell your MPs, those who are very sleepy MPs, I am very sorry to say that 60 MPs did not do their national service. They should have raised this issue as a major one, and they should not have gone much deeper into this. This is the only one aspect. Mr. Stalin has a great responsibility to safeguard the interest and borders of Tamil Nadu, because whatever is happening in Sri Lanka, it will have an impact in Indian Tamilians also. It's high duty. 50 MPs of Tamil Nadu should stage some sort of a demonstration outside Chinese embassy in Delhi. Otherwise, 8 crore Tamilians will be duped and cheated.
Thank you very much, Rajagopalan ji. I can see that Times Now is already calling you. All the best, sir. And we will be again picking up action with Rajagopalan ji at an appropriate time in the next few days, because something is going to happen in National Herald. Thank you so much for breaking us the news of the impending possible detention. So we will see how it plays out. Thank you very much, sir. Namaskar.
That was speculated by 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙀𝘀𝘐. I am replying. I am echoing his feeling, not mine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Major Madhan, let us finish this topic that we were talking about. See, I was watching some of the videos about where they were cutting off the udders of the milch cows, and it was such a horrible sight. There was one where there is a really well-built guy, and the person who is begging him, he's saying, please take just one cow if you want. Don't take all the cows. But if you look at that person's physique, Major Madhan, he looks like he has been trained in the army. I don't know what he belongs to, but the way he had a threatening look, there were 5 guys around him. These are all probably, people who are tending to the cows. They were all cringing before him. And I'm wondering, 5 of you against 1, why can't you take that person on? So can you please kind of walk us? This is a global audience. Not many people saw what happened. So many milch cows being, their udders being snapped. Then there were videos. All of them have been withdrawn from internet now, where the cow was giving milk with blood. And we don't even know if they can be restored again. Can you kind of give us a little bit more insight into how things are happening, how the investigation is proceeding in Kallakurichi, sir?
So this is a very, very unfortunate thing. We all speak because we culturally we keep that animal at a very, very high status, be it spiritual or be it, because I'm a farmer myself. Without cow, you just can't think of farming. An acre of land requires cow. Cow dung goes into the soil. So when we are a state where we said we want Bharat Ratna for Nammalwar, the person who revolutionized the concept of organic farming. I would say 𝗏𝑘 is what they call. So it is all about co-living. It is all about coexisting, and it is all about sustainable living. So at this juncture, where he says, one of the famous speech I happened to listen to him. He says that, see, you have cow that gives you milk. Where is the calf? You can't make a burger out of a calf and then have it, and then you cannot again come back and merge with the nature. It is as good as you kill your land or sell your land for this thing. So in this contest, there is a protest. Yes, people are against. There are instigations. There are high emotions. You tend to break the school. You tend to burn the furniture, buses. These are all part of that mob, psychology which comes in. But hurting an animal, and that too a cow, it has got nothing to do with the school or the management. It can be, it can be bred by you, me, or anybody. So generally, when these things happens in old times, like I'm just taking, say 30, 40 years before, when this fight happens, they generally take the cow along with them. They don't hurt the cow. They take the cow along with them because it's a gain for them and it's a economic loss for the other person. Because farmers, mostly their entire ecosystem was built on one animal called cow.
Right.
Today, when you have, there's a video, the video has been circulated deliberately. The person who's there in the video is clearly aware that he is going to get viral. Couple of millions of people are going to see it. And then the cow was targeted, and it was literally, I couldn't express it in a much worse way. This is clearly not an act of vandalism, or this is not rioting. This is terrorizing people. This is a hit on the very, very basic structure of Tamil Nadu. No farming community, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion, anybody who's a farmer will not agree to this, or anybody who is God-fearing will agree to this. This is a very, very inhuman. No, it's not a inhuman act. It's a barbaric act, which used to happen during Mughal rule. And if you're trying to recreate the scene, they're trying to convey a point. It's clearly one single agenda for this is to terrorize people, and that's what they have done. Now, what police has done is they have gone after few YouTube channels who were continuously propagating this story. They have gone after few Twitter handles which has been completely going or propagating this story, and all the WhatsApp admins, most of them have been arrested, and people who had burnt police buses, serving DIG got injured. We got a head injury, suffered a head injury. He has to be evacuated by a motorbike, to save his life. So they have identified certain people. 216 arrests have been made, and they've been remanded in, I think, in Trichy jail. And a couple of them, the typical way Tamil Nadu police does. In fact, in certain places we need to. There's no other way. A few of them broke their hand, broke their limbs while going to the loo. They fell down and these things are happening. But they are pretty serious about this particular thing, and they have been going after people. There are caste-based groups, there are caste-based parties which are against this, targeting one particular caste community. But as far as what I am saying is, the police have understood the seriousness of this, so they have been taking this to a logical conclusion or a conclusion of prosecuting this antisocial elements and thugs. So only then this event will not repeat again. If you let them free, maybe after 6 months during a political leader's birth anniversary, if you let them free, they're going to redo the same thing again in some other format later.
Major Madhan, my curiosity question before we go on to the next topic. Can the udders be surgically reattached? Can the cow be normal again?
It's very difficult, sir. It's really difficult because the golden time is all missed. It's as good as killing that animal. It's worse than killing that animal.
Yeah, because they have to be milked, don't they? I mean, otherwise they start having a lot of discomfort.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's as good as punishing them for life. It's better these animals would have got killed. But this is like one thing which is like really, really, serious. This is really serious. Just because it's cows, just because it's animals, we are letting it. We are taken it lightly. Why can't this say the guy who has got the mindset of doing this? Why can't he do it to the humans? We should ask this question to ourselves. If he is able to do that, which has given the milk when he was a child, of course he would have had cow's milk every day. He would have had his coffee and tea. Even if he doesn't have this basic grace or a basic courtesy on that thing, he can very well do it to a human being also. These are all heinous crimes, and this guy has to be prosecuted, and in the toughest laws possible. This is not just another riot which has happened. Rioting is spontaneous. Mob culture, mob psychology is spontaneous. There has to be instigation, and then people. I don't do a thing alone. But if I'm in a group of 50 or 100 mob, I'll tend to throw stones. When everybody's throwing stone, I may also throw stone. That's a different thing. We have seen it happening across. But incident of this nature, walking up to the school, dismantling an external unit of an AC, putting it on your bike and taking it back, taking the school furniture, computers, monitors, loading it in your personal vehicle and taking back home this is clearly a dacoitry, and this is theft. This is a planned arsenal which leads into looting and rioting. This is just not a normal angry mob which went for a cause, be it a girl or be it anyone. That's a different story. But this thing cannot be taken lightly.
So there are still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe we'll have a separate full show with Major Madhan once some more details emerge on what happened in Kallakurichi, because we still haven't seen the original incident, which was the death of the child, a 17-year-old child. What really happened? What led to that? We don't know the answers to that also. We'll come to that. But I just want to leave one thought with the viewer's mind. The amount of money India has given to Sri Lanka, no terms attached, no strings attached, 25,000 crores, works out to approximately $3 billion, B as in boy. And you can see the kind of somersaults and flip-flops that Pakistan is doing to just get 1.25 billion loan from IMF. So before we go to the next topic, I just want to ask this question to General Major Madhan. Al Zawahiri killing, is there a quid pro quo in your opinion, sir? I won't hold you to it, that they will say, okay, you give up the position where this guy is, we will release the 1.25 billion. Your thoughts, sir?
Sir, if you read US President Joe Biden's press release carefully, so he says that it's about eliminating the last terrorist who was involved in 9/11, a very the second in command of Osama bin Laden. He congratulated his forces, he congratulated the unit, and he also he also thanked the friendly countries.
That gives the cat away.
That's a clear this thing. 3 days before General Bajwa dialed up US for
Wendy Sherman, right? Yeah.
So how many times we see a nation's army chief dialing up another country for a bailout? This can happen only in Pakistan. So these two things are interrelated. And second thing is now coming to the technicalities of the mission. So it's supposed to be a Reaper drone. So they have a base in Middle East. From Middle East to enter Afghanistan, the easiest aerial route is via Iran. So Iran, in any other wildest sense, would have allowed a US drone to fly over its territory. So the only way the drone can enter Afghanistan is via Pakistan.
Correct.
So Pakistan has already shared its airspace. So the drones have actually flied via Pakistan. They entered Kabul through Balochistan. So that's the route which they have taken. So there's a clear cut this thing that when a US drone seeks permission to enter your airspace, it's not going to throw some garland in Afghanistan. It's going to be a mission. Second, this entire the ninja bomb, less collateral damage, without explosive, there are 5 blades. By now, everybody is an expert in it. But to actually drop this payload on a precise target, which is in a building, in a balcony, in a given point of time. Unless or until you have a solid ground intelligence, this is just next to impossible. With all the due respects to the technologies which US has, it is highly impossible unless a person who's there on ground, because a 6-figure grid reference can somehow give you a location of say 50 meters or 100 meters general area. 8-figure grid reference can be much more narrower. It can give you one particular piece of 25 square meters to 50 square meters. But this is much more precise. It has hit the right person. It has killed the right person, right target. So unless or until somebody gives a feed, somebody gives a live input of this entire thing, what time is supposed to come out. He is a terrorist. Many wouldn't know. He's if I'm not wrong, he's an ophthalmologist. Doctor.
Yes. He is a doctor. Yes.
And he is no joke. He has survived in the worst of the jungle, the mountains and caves in Afghanistan. He has his own intelligence network. He has been protected by the Haqqanis. Haqqanis have their own intelligence network. They don't trust Taliban when it comes to Al-Qaeda. So they have their own counter-espionage and counter-intelligence measure. Now, if you expect that person to come out and then the drone can locate the building, the drone can in a way narrow down on a very specific part of the building, but the timing, that's the most critical thing. So unless or until you have a ground input, it's not impossible. It's impossible to do it. And Haqqanis are the right arm of ISI. So the way it works is Haqqanis have given protection to them. The safe house belongs to Haqqanis. The house also belongs to the Haqqanis. Haqqanis have provided the inner cordon, the close body security for Al Zawahiri. And then the timing is also matched. And then they hit the particular thing. And within 13 minutes or so, the Haqqanis also confirmed that he is the Al-Qaeda leader. Now all this it's purely it's a no-brainer. So they discard people. We saw Osama's this thing also. Osama stayed in Abbottabad, hardly few 100 meters away from the Pakistani military academy. So they gave away the location. They earned what they want, and now again they gave away the location, precise location, timing, and everything. And now again they'll get what they want. Two things. One thing they already got is they're out of the FATF Financial Action Task Force list. They're out of the grey list now. They're free to get IMF fund, and very shortly, they'll be getting their IMF fund also.
Well, thank you so much for adding that extra perspective. Viewers, you should watch this movie called Bruce Almighty, and there is a scene there. When you watch that movie, you will understand why it is very similar to what happened in Al Zawahiri's case. Major Madhan, a helicopter carrying a lieutenant general of the Pakistani army and 5 other senior officials goes missing in Balochistan. People are saying that the helicopter crashed and everybody died because of bad weather. What do you make of it, sir? What is your feedback on that one? Is there anything beyond that?
There is an insurgency outfit, BRAS, Baloch,
Yes.
Rajagopalan. They have already put a claim that they have shot down the low-flying aircraft and helicopter. The inmates of the helicopter is what we need to look at. One is a corps commander, 12 corps, and then there is a approved major general, and then there's one more brigadier sir, and there are 2 majors, the pilot and the co-pilot, and then we have a protocol NCO. So all 6 of them got killed. The most vital person or the important person in this is the lieutenant general, the corps commander who was there. So he is in charge of he is the IG of the frontier force for Balochistan. He is also the director military intelligence for Balochistan. So Balochistan typically has a different human rights issue, which they call it as forced missing people. People suddenly vanish and they don't get to see them again. There are students, there are journalists, there are authors from various walks of life. They suddenly vanish. So this missing person is basically an extrajudicial method which the Pakistani army uses. So they have their pseudo gundas or thugs whom they employ. They go and kill this person, and then Baloch is a very wide area and full of mountains. They can easily burn off or hide the dead bodies. So they've been continuously doing this. So this particular general has been accused by Balochis in orchestrating this number of killings, which has gone up tremendously in the past 6 to 8 months. So General Sarfaraz Ali was always in the radar of Balochi insurgents because he is the one who was orchestrating it, because he holds 2 vital positions. One is the Inspector General of the Frontier Force, which mans the Balochistan, and one which takes care of the intelligence. So all these things are within Pakistani army circle are called as the intelligence operations. It's not intelligence operations, basically killing people. You take them extrajudicially, there is no court. The police will file a missing report. All will look fine. It will never look like a military action. There is no detention. There is no warrant. There is no law of the land. Now, BRAS has put a press release. When this incident happened, when the chopper went missing, Pakistan took almost 24 hours to confirm that this chopper has actually fallen down. Its wreckage has been found, and all 6 people have been killed. But they put out a notice, a press release within 40 minutes of this incident, that they found a low-flying helicopter of the enemy, in this case Pakistani army, and they used anti-aircraft guns to shoot it down. It got damaged, and finally, eventually, they shot it down. And later, the press release said, this is the one. The later press release, which was said, spokesperson was Baloch Khan. He said now we have taken our very important enemy, that is Lieutenant General Sarfaraz Ali, Director General Coast Guard, Major General Ajmal, Brigadier Khalid, and all other 3 inmates of it. Now, Pakistan hasn't officially denied this. They are sticking to the point that it was a bad weather, low visibility led to this, and the chopper fell down. It was on a flood rescue mission. But Baluchis have already declared it. BRAs have already declared it, and there's only one official photograph of the wreckage which is seen. We cannot make out anything much from this thing. But once this wreckage goes back for a forensic, if there are bullet marks, even a one single bullet mark on that thing, which will clearly substantiate what BRAS has claimed it. And it was low flying. The area has been flooded. That's for sure. Another thing which looks like BRAS may be true in what they claim is that that particular area is dominated by the Baluchi forces strongly. For the past almost 2 years, it's been quite dominated by these forces. And Pakistani's frontier force or anybody who could provide them the air support, it doesn't exist. There is no Pakistani post in close vicinity. There is no electricity. There is no motorable road. The only way to reach that place is by narrow carriageways and pathways, unpaved pathways. So they use motorbikes to reach those locations. Only Baluchi insurgents are active there. So that clearly points out, with the current trend of events which we have discussed in the past shows also, this clearly says there's something more to a helicopter crash as Pakistani media was made to believe. But definitely BRA's claim cannot be just ignored and moved on. If they have taken this, it's really a big price which Pakistanis have paid.
Last question from me, maybe 1 minute answer from you, sir, before we take the questions for today's show. $1.25 billion. How long, in your opinion, is that going to last for Pakistan?
I think they have 1 month payout in terms of their salaries, and it's not going to help them anyway. But that's a minimum ticket size which they have decided to go begging, because you beg too much, you need to get into those rational reforms, increase prices, and so on and so on. So this 1.25 is a minimum ticket size. You beg from 10 different people, from Saudis, from Omanis, from Qataris, from China, and then from US, and then IMF. They tend to aggregate it, but they are in a very serious, sorry state of affairs. This is not going to take them for a long. It's just 35 days of working capital which you are talking about.
Thank you very much, Major Madhan. And now let us take some questions, please. Ask Major Madhan, this is from Mr. Lee, did the US collaborate with Al-Qaeda against ISIS in Iraq and Syria after 2014? What about the Muslim Brotherhood which Zawahiri was part of? Were they funded by USA to topple Nasser? Not Nasser, I think what he meant is Mubarak.
Mubarak.
Yeah.
Yeah, US collaborated with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, in the sense, is not a single entity. Osama bin Laden by then was defunct. He was discarded. Later, he was killed. We all know the story. So US always does this. Their intelligence agencies always does this. So there is one evil, and then there is one more bigger evil. So you use a lesser evil to fight the bigger evil, and then the bigger evil goes off, and the lesser evil becomes a bigger one. And then this continues. So that's how they have been able to have tactical alliances with Al-Qaeda to take on ISIS, because ISIS at one point of time became a much serious threat to the US, because Russia also by then entered this fray. It's completely chaotic. The Syrian fighters were seen as their pro-Syrian fighters were seen as good guys. ISIS was seen as a bad guy. If you put a Russian angle to it, prism to it, it completely changes. when you add one more lens to it, say for example Saudi, again the thing changes. When you add on Turkey to it, Houthis and their insurgency, again things changes. It's very, very complex. So there's absolutely nothing called this brotherhood. There's nothing called brotherhood. It's all opportunism. It's all each other's personal stakes of those kings who rule Gulf, and they always put their country. Self first, then the country comes next. So you will see all these tactical alliances of moving from here to here and here to here. This keeps happening. Even now, if you look at Pakistan is funding, Pakistan's ISI is nurturing ISIS-K. We haven't even heard of the word 6 months before. So ISIS-K, Khorasan, has to be alive to check Taliban. So that's a byproduct of ISI. So you need to control your thugs. You taught them to fight. You radicalized them. You got them into a fighting mission. They can't do anything. They don't know anything else apart from fighting. Now, will they fight against you? Yes, they started fighting against you in Duran line. So how will you control them? You have to make another outfit which is called ISIS-K. Similar things were done by US in the past, and they're doing it now also.
Next question, please. I think we have 1 second. Nagarajan Srinivasan wants to know, the Pak Prime Minister said his country will not go Sri Lanka away because it has nuclear arms. How are the two related?
See, nuclear arms is not going to give you food, water, fuel and this thing. So what they actually mean to say is, if my country goes bankrupt, my nuclear weapons will turn against you. And that you is Western countries, US, they give the same threat to Russia, they give the same threat to China, they give the same threat to India also. See, as far as we are there, we are running the government, everything is under control. The nuclear weapons will not fall into the wrong hands. But if you don't save us, if we go bankrupt, Sri Lanka will destroy itself. But here we have nuclear weapons. These nuclear weapons will eventually come against you. It may be used against Europe, US, India, China, Russia, whatsoever it may be, because there are so many terrorist organizations which operate from Pakistan. So to save yourself from them and to save yourself from these rogues, you better fund me. That is what Pakistani PM means.
Next question, please. Bobo wants to know, you think that Chinese vessel is coming to keep an eye on India while it attacks Taiwan, and we will not be able to do anything?
No. One ship, that to a research vehicle cannot check. It's not a armed vessel, or it's not an armed ship. The idea is not that. The idea is to gather intelligence. The idea is to gather sabotage. The idea is to study the coastal line of India very, very closely. It gives them a lot of information. And the idea is also to look at and understand the strategic assets of India, like Kudangulam or Kalpakam, the Southern Naval Command based out of Cochin. So these are the places where they will have very, very close and first-hand information, Indian ship movement, port traffic in India, communications lines of the port, hinterland and all this. So in future, this information can be used against India as and when needed.
Last question before we go. I think we are done with the questions from the viewers. Major Madan Kumar, Kudankulam was supposed to have 5 nuclear reactors, if I remember correctly. One was active. The second was supposed to be commissioned. I don't know what happened. What is the status today? Because I know Tamil Nadu is reeling from power cuts right now.
There's still negotiations are going on with the Russian engineers, with Indian engineers. India hasn't agreed fully as far as the transfer of knowledge and nuances is concerned. So they're still on it. So as of now, the power demand has come down because of monsoon. I think by end of this year, we should see some light in this particular subject.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that's about it for us. And there's one more question. Ranjit Ultron wants to know, what Russia is doing in Ukraine is to create a separate state for their security benefits. Can India follow the same to Sri Lanka to create Tamil for our own security benefits?
See, we have attempted it once. We didn't have a proper plan in place. We launched a military operation under the name of Operation Pavan. We know what has happened. It is possible, but the critical mass of Tamil Ilams, basically they're less than 20 lakhs as of now. When we speak against the overall population of, say, for example, 2.5 to almost 3 crore people. So if you have to really make it, we need to have one, at least a single or a dual leadership as far as the Ilam Tamils are concerned. Currently, they are split into so many groups. Couple of them are pro-India. Many of them are against India. Within India, they trust regional parties, and certain parties they trust national parties. So it's a very, very splintered and very fragmented group. They are not united, and there's a lot of influence comes from the Sri Lankan diaspora living abroad. The number of Sri Lankan Tamils living abroad more than what people live in there. So unless or until you have this, like what you mean is Donetsk. In Donetsk, 67-70% of the people are Russian speaking. Culturally, they are same. They're pro-Russia. They believe in Russian way of Orthodox Christianity rather than being a Catholic, what most European follows. So these things are there. Out here, the cultural similarities are there, but there are a lot of bitterness which has happened in the past. Unless or until we have a solid base, united together, and seek a Tamil Elam, definitely India can go and do this. Otherwise, what will happen is, of the current scenario, if we go and try to do something of that sort, they will fight among themselves. They will turn against India. Some will become pro-India. Some will become pro-China. It will create a lot of complications, and end of the day, will not be able to achieve the desired result. We don't want to keep another country becoming problematic like what we have, like Pakistan and China. We don't want to do that.
Thank you very much. And Major Madhan, how much time do you have?
We can take one question, sir.
Okay, we'll take one more question. And then, unfortunately, we have to let Major Madhan go. He is recovering from a bad flu and his voice has just come back. So I don't want to tax him too much. Gautam Val wants to know, can India take over Colombo and Tringonmale port and Hambandhota airport like Chandrasekhar sir, I'm not sure I got the name right, suggested earlier?
See, Colombo port is there. That's the only way Sri Lanka is surviving. They're not going to give Colombo port straight away to India. India can kind of co-develop and co-share it. As far as Tringonmale port is concerned, it is very, very strategically important for us. US is also pushing for a certain amount of real estate in Tringonmale. So Tringonmale port is very, very important to India. India should aim for it. Hambandhota airport is like it's like it was built with much fanfare, which was supposed to take around 1 million plus traffic in a year, and it is the most emptiest airport in the world as we speak today. If you go see the pictures of the airport, you'll see a few crows and pigeons flying there. There's nothing else. So it's a dead asset for us. We have UDAN scheme. We have a long way to go as far as our domestic airport infrastructure is concerned. So strategically, it is not going to give us any gain, this particular airport. But yes, Tringonmale port, strategically, it's going to give us a very big advantage. China is also aiming at it. US is also aiming at it. And India is also upping its stake as far as Tringonmale port is concerned. We'll see some development coming up in the next 5 to 6 months.
Thank you very much, Major Madhan, and get well soon, sir. We'll be back again with more such hangouts. Clearly, we have covered a lot more ground than anybody else would have done. On if you would have to watch like 10 programs on TV to get the amount of data you got here. I'm not boasting. I'm just plainly stating the facts. So please, viewers, like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. And also, please click on the bell button for notification. Thanks once again, Major Madhan. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Jai Hind.